Hello, and I'm not opening with a bit of Reiki this time, except for I'm sending you the love and the peace from these two hands that feel energy from these neurons to your neurons. Peace. So I'm going to be talking about something funny and not so funny today, about magic, which I call for myself. It's ritual. I don't practice magic anymore, though I used to. I practice ritual to bring myself closer to understanding of us as all one. So, blessings, and I'm going to talk today about the curse on the moon. So there's this ritual and or spell, as some people like to call it, to curse the moon. Yeah, it sounds kind of funny and kind of stupid. Some people it sounds very logical too, because they've heard a lot of stuff online about how the moon is hollow and the moon curses us and the moon suppresses us, and these planets in the sky and these orbs and things that actually keep our planet in line and watch over us, as some would call in their religion watchers, and protectors. The moon shines for us, the sun, at night. It's like, to me, like, a star. To me, have done a lot of wonderful rituals with the moon that have not only showed me my shadow, but that have kept me grounded and sometimes actually kept me safe and kept me alive when I was in really bad situations that were not safe. And I was not in the headspace to care about myself, because I had come to understand my human condition and conditioning, and was trying to exit that on my own, and more than once have met things that have totally derailed me. But I'm not ashamed of them, because they've got me to the place where I am. I am still dealing with those things, but moving on. The moon. So basically, I want to tell you this about cursing. Having done curses, black magic, worked with entities that have passed through other people, so removing them from people, which I gave up doing because I was on the path to rejecting that. When I got drawn back into it, had to kind of learn that it is more real than I ever even thought while practicing it, if that even makes any sense, that it's much more broad than I understood. And I needed to find a way to set myself and my energy, and which is your thought form and your belief system, first of all, above that. So that's where people attack you first, on this plane, in this dimension. And people want to say, like, up in the stars is another dimension, but it's all internal in you, above, below, within, without. It's the mind and the recourse of the mind, or the strongest minds, or the pendulum minds. So what you need to do, people will say in magic, is, oh, well, you need to figure out all these ways to raise your vibration up above, and you imagine white light, and you imagine and you imagine and you imagine, because you're educating the mind to understand and believe something. Once you understand and believe something, then you get to the place where you know that the only people that can receive curses are people who have so much self-worth that they cannot be touched by those things. They will say you've got to raise your vibration, and there's certain things you need to do and certain actions you need to take so that your vibration is stronger. There will always be something with a stronger vibration than you. So if you seem to think that, you can do that in this form, do it. By all means, do it. Do the best that you can to protect yourself. But what a lot of religions and schools don't teach you is that they'll teach you to still your mind and meditate and breathe and all the yoga, and which I think is great. Love all that stuff. I'm not as disciplined as I'd like to be in it. I do practice those things daily. But I don't want them to be the place where I get my safety from, nor my health from, because that needs to start with your mind and your belief system. So all these things are schools to teach you to have the right belief system. Once you have the right belief system, you can start to build your mind up from a place where you can't lack, because you're so worthy. Not egotistical, because that's black magic, and that's white magic. So that's the left and the right hand path belief, that you have to have enough external worth in the world's eyes. and your ego has to be trashed, and that was just bullshit shit, because science and anthropology and even religion has taught us that our ego is not separable. It's just something that we need to learn to work with, like the shadow. It's the part of us that we allow the external world to vibrate with, and we call like a curse or someone bringing us down, or low level stuff. So what you need to do to be able to first not become victim to a curse is to have a right mentality. Most black and white magicians, left and right hand path people, and everybody, our biggest struggle is our self-worth. So once you get to a place where nobody can tear that down, and you've been through those schools, and I'm going to say this again because I'm going to keep saying it as I said it before, and I'll say it again, and I've only used my life to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt to me, so nobody's fucking with me about it, is that it can be done in love. And if your school ain't love, it's in the old paradigm, old matrix, old Abrahamic, old religions of, rip someone's heart out and gotta sacrifice and all this shit and put it on Azazel and send him into the desert. I'm just using a lot of archetypes from religions, from schools. You gotta be beaten and broken to rise above. Yeah, well, go live in a ghetto. Like, what do you need religion for, Been there, done that. What you learn from those things, schools in this belief system, is that you're unworthy, and if you can just prove yourself worthy enough by suffering, you can overcome lack. Bullshit. Until you see yourself complete as you are, fucked up, whatever state you're in, and you're not using your ego to flounce your little heady around and say you're better than everybody else and your energy's better, and you think that you're going to build yourself up by extending your lack and pushing your lack out on others, which is cursing. You're saying you're weak. So when you have to curse, you have to admit, first of all, that you have a weakness, and that this world around you, therefore yourself, has a lack of self-worth. I have this belief system that you got to rise above your teachers. Whatever school I've entered into has always been, and not from an egotistical sense, but from a sense where I learned from being repressed in a cult from the time I was little, and being the scapegoat and the Azazel in my family, in every group I've been in, because I thought for myself, was you have to rise above your teachers. They are students and teachers. If they're real teachers, they're a student of their own work, and they're using their teaching in a way that honors both of you. And they keep authority, but their authority is flexible in that they believe they're learning. That's a safe kind of school. So it's your place to rise above that and be eventually your own teacher and your own guru, which I've spoken of here before. This is what you've got to do. This is why all this new help stuff and new age stuff is all about calming yourself down, getting your nervous system in the right order, your finances, all these things in the right order. But first, you can't be cursed if your worth is up here. And it can't be a false worth that you prop up with your ego. Though, excuse me, that is how you begin to get there. Like you hear a lot of these rappers and spiritual people and different people, tooting their horn and building themselves up, and nobody's better than them, and they rap the best and they chat the best. But it's all from defense mechanism. That's ego. When you're scared and you've got to defend yourself for real, that's just biology. When you're scared and against something you can't see or hear or feel or taste or touch, you're bordering on psychotic. And that psychosis is what teaches us to be whole, okay? Religions and stuff are bipolar. They set up the whole belief system where balance can never be attained because there's only dark and light in this world, and blah, 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 blah. And the middle line is the Satan, or the middle line is the divisor between the two, and you've got to walk between the two worlds. And you've got to be the totality. You've got to be the circle that encircles. This is what I teach. So, why do you want to fling curses at the moon? Okay, this is because either you believe it's a negative entity and you're scared of that negative entity, or you think somehow it's enslaving you or controlling you because somebody outside of you told you it is. Well, I'm going to tell you this. If you know anything about spells and magic, the first thing is laugh and make fun of yourself. That, sorry, but that's what they they teach you. You know, after this whole of, oh, gotta be holy and gotta wear your robes and gotta do this and the incense and that and blah blah blah, the planets and the Kabbalah and the Qliphoth and on and on and on and on and on we can go for an eternity. That's what religions do. So once you've learned all that stuff, one of the things is you gotta laugh at yourself. You gotta take a breath and have some fun. All of them teach you when you can't get where you want to go, back off and have some fun. Why? You need to learn to be like a child. You learn to be innocent again and come from that space of wholeness again, which they don't teach. They just tell you, oh, go be a child. Okay, yeah, so you go play. What? You go to a bar, you hang out with the wrong people, you take walks in the woods trying to get balance in your aloneness and your alone time, because we got to be a community, but yeah, in order to do that, you got to learn to be alone. You got to learn to fucking get along with yourself first. So, cursing the moon, this is what's going to happen. Like you've cursed the earth and your anger and sorrow, we all have before. I hate this place, I can't stand this place, been there, done that. I've suffered through a lot of things, watching people I love turn psychotic, my spouse, a child, a foster child, other kids, myself, friends, people causing it on purpose to other people. And I'm sick of it. But this sickness and the hate of this conditioning in the world and in myself has taught me that when we hate those things, we're projecting from a place of fear. And I even hate to say that because New Age has made projection such a doctrine. Anything that comes from doctrine that I say, sit with it and then throw it the fuck out, because doctrine's fucked up and doctrine will fuck you up. Care. And someone teaching you how to avoid the pitfalls on your path, not my path, your path, is the true teaching. I'm going to lose my place again. So I'm going to keep going back to the same thing. This cursing of the moon is a cursing of yourself, because you don't understand and fear something that's happening. Is the world flat? Is it round? Is our government fake? Is there already one world order set up and there's, world currency, and is it the end times, and is Jesus going to come back, and is the spirit of Sophia going to rise, and are we going to get on the right ark? Is there going to be a spaceship and there is so much fear these days, disease, and I'm not even going to name the demon that is bullshitting everybody to bend over and take a shot. And forcing us, we have to. If you want to eat, if you want to work, you got to take this mark. I know what I was taught about that bullshit, but it seems like everybody's kind of forgotten that whole storyline because of what? Logic? No, fear. And also, that pendulum hasn't lost power. And if you don't know what a pendulum is, go look it up. There's novels about it, fun stuff to read about it. It's deep. So basically, when something's a power, it's a pendulum. It's hypnotizing you. So if it's fear-based, like this whole curse the moon and curse the beings that control us, and cursing our own emotions, okay? You're cursing yourself. You're cursing yourself. You're not separate from the moon or separate from one person or separate from any biology in the universe, black hole or no. Doesn't matter if you don't like it and you want to curse it. You're not going to change the course of it unless you get enough people together hating on what you want to hate on to make it move. And the thing has to be open and believe it's unworthy, which you're doing to the earth and you've done to the earth, and that's totally freaking happening. The resonance of the earth has, like I said last week, it stopped, like a heart attack. I like to think of it as contractions, because as much as I say like we're fucking up the earth, my story in fullness and without fear is that the other paradigm, the other story, the pendulum that's going to weigh when we're like, lack and old religions and the end of the world and we're all going to die and no money and the mark of the beast, is this other pendulum, my belief system. We're having birth pangs for a creation of a new world. And you want to call it a new world order, a new money system, prosperity, but all those old world paradigms are first going to have to fall. And the Christ consciousness of the Sophia or the wisdom or the ship coming in, the ship, is a mentality. It's a belief system. It's a system of, we're going from a system that wants to control everyone in lack and poverty, and you don't have enough because if you have too much, I might not have enough, or I might not be the one or the guru or the saint or the enlightened. And you watch where money is flowing right now. These huge world churches are freaking dangerous things. I don't care how great they are. There's some people that I enjoy hearing what they say. I basically don't listen to them because I don't want to support them. But these isms, and even an ism that I'm not going to mention the name, but that I promote on my channel to watch for how they dismantle different religions and teach you the secrets you need to know from each religion to attain self-mastery, they're also an ism. I don't agree with any ism. Ism in magic you create in black magic, and ism to create a pendulum to create your own world in your own thought form. I'm going to be hacking the magic system, so I'm going to be hated. I've been hated by my partners, hated by my family, hated by my kids, hated by myself most of my life. So I don't care. So if enough of us love the moon, in other words, love the reflection of our emotions, love the reflection of the tide, the in and the out, and the thing that pulls it, and the breath, the in and the out, the up and the down, the expansion and the contraction, which is necessary for growth here. If enough of us learn to love that, you can't curse the moon. There's just no possible way. And any magician who's getting on there is not an enlightened. They have not climbed the pyramid on the left or the right path. If they're all just like shadow work, the evil the archetypes, whatever, Kali, enter all those things, used all those things, they're archetypes. Well, then they're just like, but if you don't say and you don't do and you just act this external love and lightness, then suddenly you'll just become it. You'll no longer expand and contract. You'll just be perfect. That also is bullshit. The way you reach self-perfection is through yourself. You can use all these archetypes and concepts, and yeah, I may make fun of them a little bit so you see the extremes, but there's nothing funny about it. There's nothing funny about these schools. Majority of them have been used to promote lack to the extreme side of the pendulum, which they're all left to me. Right is when you can walk in the fact that this world is all fucked up, our biology is all fucked up, we've fucked the world up, we're in an age where the world is in itself in birth pangs to go through a change, and I don't want to call it self-destruction, even if birth brings some major destruction with it, and some major burying and unearthing of the psyche. But I know that, having had 6 children. So it's something I love. I love being a mom, loved having babies. Wasn't the best mom because I was stuck in a hateful religious mindset and a cult mindset, and not where I should have been. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't say, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you, to my kids, and I've had to learn to say it to myself. And to everybody I've touched paths with on this earth. Not because they may necessarily deserve or have earned forgiveness, but because I want to be whole. I want to be whole. That's all that matters is I'm going to be whole. Because I can't be whole for others, and others can't be whole for me if I don't give space for that. The moon is your emotions. Now I'm going to stop talking about woohoo and astrology and feels, and I'm going to talk about science, human condition. Biologically, we feel out here. When someone comes and they gets close to you, you feel something. The feelings are in your moon, your heart space, your moon, your consciousness, your moon, your sexual organs, your moon, your expansion, your tide, your ins and out. So we were meant, just as everything else that feels here and has tangible feelings, to feel things. Okay, so your biology is changing so much in the mind, which is where all expansion of creation takes place first, and then it filters down to the body. So there's many people being born oversensitive, not only because they're empaths or autistic, which or hyperactive, which I am all. Labels, I don't really care about labels, but in order to relate to other people, I use labels, especially like astrology, because I love that kind of stuff, and spiritual stuff, because I love that, and I relate that way. But it's not a religion. So the feeling. The nervous system extends outside of the body. Science has proven that now. It is being expanded further and further and further, and we have not been an amazing society of, oh, feely, feely. We talk about it. It's in our movies. It's in our drama. It's in our psyche. But it hasn't come to a place of wholeness where we say, well, this is part of our human condition and our development. The brain is developing so fast that the nervous system can't keep up, that it has to reach out beyond and grasp and pull in and pull in and pull in more and more knowledge and wisdom and how to protect and how to take care of and how to handle. And it's overwhelming. The adrenals are constantly kicking in. The age, people are aging quicker than ever, but able to live longer. So aging in the mind, the evolution, and the body doesn't have to age at the same rate. And sometime I'll do a whole thing on Venus and the body and anti-aging. But again, all of that from below is coming from a place of worth. When you're living in continual lack and with people with poverty mindsets, you're going to be oppressed and suppressed. So you're creating your own slavery and the slavery of also the world, which I'm guilty of, plain and simple. So let's just do this thing, okay? I'm going to bless you and anyone who watches this, and I'm going to ask you to bless the moon, because the moon is a representation of your emotional space. And as much as religion, both left and right hand path, have told you as a biological creature you have to suppress feeling and suppress emotion and suppress and gain control and put under and subject to all authority your emotions. No. If you don't see yourself right, you're going to be suppressing on the inside, and the external is going to look real good. Your rising sign is going to look real good, but it's not going to be truth that's going to expand into the world and change hearts and change mentalities. I lost my train of thought, so I'm going to pick up where I keep going again. So with me, let's just bless your moon, which is bless your emotions and be okay in your emotions and be okay with the fact that the human condition has emotions, and some of them are super fucked up, and some of them are scary, and some of them are destructive, and some of them are people having shots and people not having shots, and people wearing masks and people not wearing masks, and division, divide and conquer. You're getting yourself ready to be conquered, okay? RNA is affected by your emotions and how well you handle stress, hormones, and fear. If you don't have these things and suppress yourself with these things, your immune system can't be repressed nor suppressed, and you can't catch things. Now, that's proven science. If you want to walk outside of that, you're welcome to. With the rest of the world, it's easy to follow the pendulum when it's swinging. It's got its downward momentum to that other side. You follow that. Whether I'm forced to have a shot with a super bad nervous and immune system or not doesn't matter, because eventually maybe the world will be there. If I can avoid that, I will move out of the country. I'll do anything to avoid it, because it's a form of suppression and oppression, which is socialistic and communistic. And I will move to that place in Florida where everybody gets sued for forcing people to do things. Even if I got my shot, even if I wear a mask, I would still do that, because freedom is most important, to find self-expression. If you crush the moon, you're crushing your self-expression. You're hating on your emotions. You're trying to control and suppress instead of open your arms and love and take in the fullness of what you are and what others are. That's super scary if you don't first come from a place of wholeness and self-worth. If you're not worthy, and every moment, every day, we have to keep coming back to center where we find our self-worth. And that is also part of your ego. And anyone who's told you ego is not involved in there is probably an egomaniac and wants to control you by taking all your boundaries away, which has been done to me multiple times in occults and from culty black religious people. In order so that they can suppress you to the point where you have no real beliefs, and once your slate is wiped, because your emotions are wiped, then they can access your neurological system and pretty much trash all your belief systems. Well, when I got in my last relationship like that and with people like that, I was like, do it, annihilate it. I'm going to put it all out there, and I'm going to make you think I'm the trashiest of the trashiest of the trash. But then, when I gain my momentum back and I love myself, I'm going to be so worthy that when you touch me, you're going to have to see your own self-worth. You're going to have to see your own shadow. You're going to have to see how deep your own lack goes. Because I had given up on love, and I had given up on humans ever being kind or ever being whatever. And I had just gotten involved in this human condition movement and grace, and was so happy, the abundance matrix instead of the lack matrix. And I had all that fucked out of me. And so I was like, okay, yeah, we're going to do this. I'm going to find out how deep can I dive away from my own self-worth and still pick the pieces back up and still say, hey, I love myself and you couldn't crush me. That's what makes us strong. But that can be done in love. It does not have to be done to you in cruelty. And this earth has this belief system that, everything's about oppression and hurt. And I saw this guy with his t-shirt that was about, no pain, no gain, or all this, we have this whole mentality that you have to lack to find goodness. You have to lack to find love. You have to be oppressed to find peace. Blah, 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 for thousands of years. Have you fixed it yet? No. Why do you guys keep creating the wheel? Recreating your own suffering. And now you're shooting at the moon? If you bring it down, what's going to happen to this earth? You're going to destroy the fucking earth. So you're saying you hate the earth, you hate yourself, you hate your biology, you hate the heavens, you hate creation. Is there anything you don't hate in destroying the moon? You're scared. That's all you are. And you're worthy to be hugged and to be loved and to be reikied and to be told that you can learn to come from a place of wholeness and peace, and it doesn't have to be through suffering. But if you're going to keep taking your human condition and saying, yes, I see my human condition, I want peace for the world, and then you're going to feel fear and you're going to feel lack and you're going to feel confusion and your partners are going to tear you down because they're scared of the way the world is right now, you're going to enter into lack and you're going to fall like I've fallen. And we can't do that anymore. There needs to be people who bless the moon, who bless your emotions, who tell you you can have emotions. And I'm not saying support a narcissist. Empaths or people who feel are drained by people who don't feel. Those are the true vampires out there. Everybody's like, oh, someone's a vampire if you need anybody, and spend lots of time in the woods and be alone and raise your energy. And I'm going to talk a hell of a lot more about those things. But bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. The reason why sociopaths and psychopaths are least affected by black magic and tend to go and create these huge black magic destructive cults is because nobody can tell them they're unworthy. The real thing is, though, is their worth is on the external, like flipped inside out. That's narcissism. And really in their heart of hearts, maybe like, oh, in the heart of hearts, a narcissist really feels deeply. No, they have amnesia in their real feelings of deepness. And they're 100% committed to their self-worth being their fight and their flight and their anger. And so therefore cause more oppression, because if not, you're going to be stepped upon, or the earth can only be controlled if it's controlled by me. That's ego gone wrong, But the reason why these psychopaths can't be touched is because they're armed here. So it's going to take a lot to change the mentality and take this pendulum from here to, not going back to there, and make something new in this world before we wreck it. I don't want to keep going back to teaching about those things. I have poems, I have content from before that where I'm back and forth on the peace and the love and I give it to you. I give it to you ghetto sense. I give it to you my love sense, where I was at that time, and my sense and understanding, which I'll not apologize for. Just like the other day I said retarded on a video, and it did not be liked by some people. And I was using it to talk about government and my suppression and things with my seizures and stuff. So retard it slows down along the nervous system. It slows down along the line. People who are retarded, they don't even use the full normal expression of the word. They use it as slow or slowed down neurologically. And those people are not slowed down neurologically. Some of them are extremely brilliant. Some of them are very handicapped. So I'm going to express myself as I express myself. I am not a new age hippie voodoo hoodoo bullshit. I was. No more. Nobody's touching my self-worth. Nobody's going to make any kind of magic on me or my moon or my emotions and my loves and my want, needs, and desires. Because in my reality, which is what reality transurfing, which I posted some things about, and Unseen Seraph, and in my reality, I am God. Why? Because I'm responsible as a sovereign being for me first. Me first is everything internal. That's external. My moon is external, sitting in your sky, and you see it, and I'm going to protect it. How am I going to protect it? I'm going to be worthy right here. I'm going to step away from the people that need to tear me down. I'm going to make mute their belief systems. And if they're going to use me and my body, they're going to create their own lack and therefore their own black magic. And I'm just going to send their love right back to them. If your love is a lack of self-worth that needs to destroy the moon and shoot it down, then you are opening yourself up to every curse out there. And my curse, that you are going to learn self-worth. You are going to learn to love yourself. You are going to learn to practice in a state of worthiness. Because if you don't, you're going to create your own curses. And you're going to curse everyone around you because you're living in fear and lack, in a consciousness of, oh, if we fight this battle, if we fight that battle, if we just fight another battle, it'll all be... That's never worked for a millennial. It's never, ever frickin' worked. And you better bet if someone's beating me up, I'm going to defend myself. I'm not talking about that. I used to be a complete pacifist, where that if someone hit you in the face, you had to turn to them the other cheek and offer them your coat and your whole house. And you know, that's also being honored in magic again these days. But I'm sorry, we don't live in a society where you can give your daughter away to the man who passes through town because that's a nice thing to do. Sorry, but if you want to live in that lax system, you go right ahead and do that. I'm not with you. So, curse my moon, curse yourself. Not because I'm a curser, because I'm a witch, because I was a witch, which is bullshit, because I am a practicer of traditions, because I think the moon and the intelligence of the moon and communicating with the intelligence of the moon within myself makes me exponentially brilliant. And that's what planetary magic is about. You're absorbing the consciousness and feeling of the planets. So any witch or spell person out there who's trying to convince you to curse the moon is 100% full of shit, because they're telling you to curse your own biology. How do you like that? Well, you want to think there's aliens in the moon, that the moon's hollow and that it rings like... So what if the biology of the moon is ringing like a bell? Let emotions ring. Let them be. You know? Don't tolerate evil. Walk away from it every chance you get so you don't have to defend yourself. But if you have to defend yourself like you are every planet and everything out there worthy that needs to be defended. And I'm not going to tell you to hurt anyone, because that's illegal. I'm not going to tell you to hurt yourself or allow yourself to be hurt, because that should be illegal, because it's called suicide, but self-defense is somehow wrong again in this day and age. Well, that's bullshit too. Balance, dark and light, in between. Care is the whole full expression. Care is the moon. Care is your nervous system that has to feel in order to grow and become worthy. So we can all become worthy. So we can all vibrate so high that this whole world becomes worthy. A lot of people aren't there. I'm going to again promote the channels I promote before I close out. Peace, Love, and Reiki. I recommend Morg's channel, not for Hyperianism or any ism, but because it gets to the chase of where the secrets are in religion and how to hijack that to change yourself. I recommend thehumancondition.com, which is from science and anthropology, is a little against religion and New Age-ism, but it has a great message about love and grace and completeness and how to move ahead and how to communicate with people from that point of view. Amanda Flacker on YouTube. Morgan Hyperianism is also on YouTube and its own site. Amanda Flacker, because she is all about the fulfilling of this matrix that teaches you not to think from a place of lack or I'm not worthy or there isn't enough abundance to go around. So Amanda Flacker. And then Unseen Seraph, and I post all these recommendations with videos. I don't support any of them financially. They don't support me financially. No one's supporting me financially right now, not even the government, nothing. So I'm doing this from a place of fullness of my own internal abundance. I recommend these channels because they help with a lot. They help with a lot of things. The Unseen Seraph has great videos that I would recommend, not so much on getting your partner, which it kind of focuses around because that's her niche, but about your own self-worth first. And she does recommend that before you try to get deep into Neville Goddard or any of those things, you need to understand your self-worth. And she recommends the Ho'oponopono. I might say it wrong, but the I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you, as a reflection to yourself. Build up your self-worth, build up the worth of the whole world. Peace, love, fallen angels for world peace, thank you.